Thank you very much for having me. This is my 5th trip to the U.S. since I was released 8 months ago. I have been here with my wife, Aviva, who was also kidnapped. We were kidnapped together. We have been here to advocate for the release of the hostages, and that is our life since we were released. Aviva and I are committed to doing whatever we can to bring all of the hostages, all of the 48 hostages, back as soon as possible.
I can imagine you must think about them constantly because you are one of the very, very few who knows exactly what they're enduring.
Yes. I know the abuse, I know the violence, I know the starvation, I know being deprived of water, not being able to clean my body, witnessing torture, women being tortured, beaten, handcuffed, tied at their feet. The suffering, the life-threatening situation that I was in and that the hostages that are still in Gaza are in, and there are still 48 hostages being held by Hamas terrorists in Gaza for now 2 years. I spent time with 4 of them that are still there at separate times, my friends, Gali and Ziv Berman from my community of Kfar Aza, Omri Miran, and Matan Angrist. I never believed I would be released and that my 4 friends and that 48 hostages altogether would remain in Gaza.
Yeah,
I'm doing whatever
Omri's brother-in-law was on this show last night, and he told me that he feels you helped his brother stay alive. He's just guessing, having talked to you. But I know you spent an extraordinary amount of time underground in these tunnels. How did you do that, Keith? How did you survive that?
The survival instinct and believing and promising myself that I must stay alive, I must survive to return to my family. I had made that promise to myself, and I had promised Aviva when we were separated after 50 days. Aviva was released. The terrorists told us I would be released the next day after Aviva was released. I stayed in Gaza for another 433 days.
But there must have been times when you wanted to give up.
There were never times that I wanted to give up, because as I said, I felt like I must survive. I must be reunited with my family. I must bring an end to my family's suffering that I was sure was much greater than mine. And just the thought of what they were going through created within me a very, very strong feeling that I must survive to get back to them.
How optimistic are you that this latest negotiation, these negotiations taking place in Egypt, are going to finally lead to this is the first time in 2 years Hamas has said in principle it will release all the hostages, both living and dead. Are you optimistic that it will finally happen?
I am optimistic, and President Trump's efforts and engagement and his commitment to releasing all the hostages, he has been there since day one when he was inaugurated, and I see the urgency that he sees to bring all of the hostages home. I am very, very optimistic, and I would like to thank President Trump again for bringing me home to my family and many, many other hostages. And I am encouraging him, and I know he will, to continue putting pressure in order to get this agreement secured and to bring all of the 48 hostages back home.
And very, very, very quick, if you could get one message to the remaining hostages who are still alive in those tunnels, what's the one thing you would say to them tonight?
Yes, I would like to say to my friends that are still held hostage in Gaza by Hamas terrorists, Gali and Ziv Berman, Omri Miran, and Matan Angrist, if you hear me, if you see me, you should know that your families and I and many, many other released hostages and many, many people in Israel and all around the world are doing everything that we can to get you released. And I think we're on the verge of that. Keep strong. I love you, and I'm dreaming, hoping, and believing that we will see each other soon.
Thank you for watching. Subscribe below and download our NewsNation app right now on your phone, and you will get fact-based, unbiased news for all Americans.